Hey, welcome back to the Ultimate Fan Chat. This is episode 14. Today we're going to be talking about UFC on Fox, Alvarez versus Poirier 2, a rematch of one of
Mhm.
the greatest fights of a long time. Anyways, I am Chris. You got Dan in the left-hand corner, which is different, and you got Peter in the right-hand corner, which once again is also different. So guys, I'll pull up the main card. I'll quickly run through the fights because we don't want to spend too much time on all these lower fights. So I'll go the first fight. Uh, you know what? I'm not going to bother talking about that. Don't know that person. Don't know that person. Dustin Ortiz. He's always fun to watch. Flyweight. This is the fight past prelims. Got Alexis Davis. She's always good. She's finally moved down to flyweight because they finally got a flyweight division. So hopefully she can work her way up to a title shot. You got John McDessie versus Ross Pearson, which is that should be a fun fight. No matter what happens, that should be a fun fight. He always goes out there and puts on a good fight. Ross Pearson, I don't think I've ever seen him in a boring fight. So not going to pick a winner or anything, but it's definitely a fight to watch if you want to watch some free fights. Moving up to the Fox prelims, there's a bunch of dudes that I've never heard of, so I'm not going to try pronouncing their names. But in the main fight of the Fox prelims, you got Jordan Mein and Alex Morono, which once again, just like the McDessie and Pearson fight, that should be a great fight as well because Jordan Mein, he was a young up and comer. He's still pretty young, but he took what a 2 year retirement and came back and got beat by Meek. So yeah, that should be a good fight. Alex Morono, I think his last fight he got knocked out by Nico Price, my man Nico Price. I love that guy. So yeah, once again, great fight. Both these guys like to strike. Jordan Mein, he's got a good ground game, so anything can happen. All right, now moving to the main card, you got Alexander Hernandez versus Olivia Aubin-Mercier. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, this should
Close
be a good
enough.
fight. You got Alexander Hernandez, who he's trying to break. He's already broken his way into the top 15 with a knockout of Benil Dariush. Is that how you say his name? Yes, cool. Uh, then you got Olivia or Mercier, however you want to say it. And yeah, I don't know much
This is
about either of
actually an
these guys,
interesting
but yeah,
fight.
this should be a fight to show whether or not Alexander Hernandez is like whether or not he's going to prove to be like a contender, or if
Yes,
he was just a flash in the pan and just somehow knocked out a top 15 guy and then never makes anything of it. You guys got anything to say about that fight?
yes, I
Nope.
do.
Okay, Dan, go ahead.
This is like you were saying before. It's interesting, and it would legitimize Alex Hernandez because uh, Mercier is a grappler. So I'd be really interesting to see Hernandez's overall game. I'd like to see him tested with his in the grappling department. So I'm very interested in how this fight goes because he can quickly just overwhelm Mercier before he even starts his game plan, like he did with Dariush, just by athleticism and physique. But if it goes, all 3 rounds, I would really love to see how Hernandez does against a grappling heavy style fight. So it'd be really interesting to see.
Yep, I don't disagree with any of that. Do not disagree. Do you want to pick anyone to win out of that fight, Dan, or are you happy just to
The
leave it at
thing is,
that?
we've never seen Hernandez go against a grappler, and looking at his stats, he has never defended takedown because no one's take tried to take down on him. So yeah, so I'd like to see it. I have no idea what his grappling looks like. So I'd like to see. I have no prediction because I actually don't know.
Should be alright because Mercier's a black belt in judo, so he should have some ability to take the fight to the ground. Okay, alright, well, we'll move forward. I haven't seen too much in either guy, so I can't say too much more on that. But we'll go to. Okay, so this card has got three main, like, huge fights, like, very legitimate. Like, these fights
Such a
could be
good
on the
card.
main
It
card
is
of a
such
pay per view
a
any
good
day.
card.
So
Yeah,
we'll
I
go to
agree. I
Joanna
completely agree.
Jędrzejczyk or Joanna Alphabet or Joanna Champion or JJ, whatever you want to call her, versus Tisha Torres. Uh, Pete, we'll get you to start off with this. What's your opinion on this fight?
Not as interested in it as a lot of people are. I think it's going to be somewhat of a cakewalk for Joanna. Georgia. I just think the gap. In terms of Rose Namajunas, I think maybe Rose might just have. It's one of those things where she might just have a number. I equate Joanna's situation quite similar to Jose Aldo's when he lost the title to McGregor. There's just certain guys that Jose Aldo can't beat. Guys that are long and rangy like that, like McGregor and Holloway. And I feel like Rose is just that kryptonite for Joanna. She struggles to beat her, but she's just going to beat all the other contenders. I don't see how Tisha Torres has got anything for her. I think Joanna's going to be too sharp with the stand-up. It's also her first non-title fight in almost 4 years. So she's only got to train for. She comfortably goes five rounds. So I can't see her getting outpointed over a 3-round fight with Tisha Torres. So I'm not necessarily saying she'll get the stoppage, but I think she'll get at the very least a wide decision.
I completely agree. Like, I agree with Peter. I don't see Torres having a path to victory aside from a lucky punch, but she's not really a knockout artist. Like, Torres has looked the best when she fought against Andrade, but you look at how Joanna fought Andrade, and what she really showed, she has the ability to pick apart opponents who have a shorter, length. So yeah, pretty much. I can't see Torres winning this anyway.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's she's got quite a large. It's a 4.5-inch reach advantage as well. So, like you're saying, Dan, it just sort of plays into all her strengths. So I can't see it going any other way. I'll say, I won't go as far to say it's a stoppage, but I think she's gonna win each round. So 30-27 to JJ for me.
Dan, you got a pick?
Joanna by decision.
And just one more thing on that. I think she's going to find herself in a tough place. She's not going to get a title shot as long as Rosie's champion.
Yes.
But I can see her beating probably most of the other contenders. So she's going to be in a bit of a rough patch for the next couple of fights, unless Rose loses the title when she fights. I think she's fighting Andrade next, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can see her losing to Andrade. I can see Rose losing to Andrade.
All right, fair enough. I'll just give my quick opinion on the fight. Yeah, I don't see any way that Tisha Torres can win. Although Joanna's been in a few wars. She's been in, like, a lot of 5-round fights at this point, where she's been tagged a lot of those times in those fights. So I think she's a bit chinny these days. So even though Tisha Torres isn't a knockout artist, neither was Rose, but she still knocked her out. So there's still that chance. I don't want to say that Tisha Torres has got no chance because Joanna is a bit chinny. But I'd give. If I had to bet my house on it, I'd be betting on Joanna. So my pick's Joanna. All right, so we'll move forward onto the former the greatest featherweight of all time, Jose Aldo versus Jeremy Little Heathen Steven, whatever Little Heathen means. Yeah, this should be a great fight. Dan, I'll let you start this one off.
Stevens is really impressing me. Like, he used to be just journeyman, and you just put him on a 3-card. Just put him on cards for a 3-rounder just for fun. Like, he's someone you watch for fun. I enjoy watching him, but he never ever struck out as like a top contender. But he's on a really excellent run, and I'm really impressed. Knocking out Doo Ho Choi, my boy. I loved it.
Boy.
I really see Stevens upping his skill level, while Aldo at the same time is on his way down. Stevens is even the underdog. I mean, sorry, Aldo's the underdog in this fight. So my value bet on Aldo. But here's the thing, right? Stevens knocked out RDA. Stevens has legit power. But at the same time, Stevens kind of plays well into Aldo's strengths, because Aldo's kryptonites are rangy fighters like Connor, like Holloway, who just overwhelm. So how Holloway beat Aldo was just by overwhelming him, going the Nick Diaz route of just gassing him out. Because where Aldo thrives is he stays defensive and then, explodes, stays defensive, explodes with counters. So he slows down the pace, keeps defensive, explodes, slows down the pace, keeps defensive, explodes. But Holloway just stayed on him and was fearless enough to just keep on exchanging until Aldo broke. Stevens cannot do that. McGregor beat Aldo because he's a better counterfighter. And, it was a couple of seconds. So you can't really judge the whole fight. You don't know how it could have played out. So, yeah, Stevens is neither like Conor. He's not like Holloway. But I still see this to be very competitive, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Because Stevens doesn't shy away. He's going to come in there, and he's very scrappy. So I think this could be fight of the night contender in conjunction with my boy Eddie. I love Eddie. And Dustin Poirier. Well, I give it to Aldo, even though he's the underdog.
Fair enough. Pete, go ahead.
So this is my main event. I love Jose Aldo. I agree with Dan. We're going to agree with each other a lot, it seems, tonight. But I think, like Dan was saying, and like I sort of mentioned during the Rose preview, during the Joanna fight preview, I think there's just a certain style of guy that Aldo can't beat, and that's the long, rangy guy with the accumulation of punches and the technical ability like that. I don't think Jeremy Stephens brings those same issues to the fight with Jose Aldo. He doesn't have that accumulative style like a Max Holloway. I don't think he's as sharp and he doesn't have that real quick counter ability like McGregor. He probably hits harder than both of them in terms of just sheer power. So Aldo's still got to be careful of that. He's got to, if he gets careless, he will get knocked unconscious if he gets careless. Yes. But I just think if he's got his head switched on, I think he beats Jeremy Stephens quite comfortably, to be honest with you. I think he's better in every field than Jeremy Stephens, bar the one-punch knockout power. Another interesting point of note, in all of his fights, bar the Conor fight, even the two fights with Max Holloway, he was winning the first 2 rounds. Right? He was winning the first 2 rounds, even in the second fight against Holloway. And it's his first non-title fight in 9 years.
Is this a 3-rounder, isn't it?
It's only a 3-rounder, so
Correct.
it's his first non-title fight
Yes.
in 9 years. So that also gives me extra confidence. I think if Jeremy Stephens doesn't get the stoppage first round, start of the second round, I think he loses a decision here. As long as Aldo is switched on and he's cautious and he's careful, I think he wins this fight pretty comfortably. That being said, a little concerned with his comments saying he's probably going to retire at the end of his contract. So, once the guy starts thinking about retirement and he fights someone dangerous like Jeremy Stephens, that can be bad news. So I just hope, and I've got my doubts, but I hope he's in the right headspace for this fight because he needs to be. Especially with Holloway. With Holloway, his condition unknown at the moment. In 3 fights, Jose Aldo can quite plausibly be back in title contention, So I'm hoping he's done all the preparation right. I'm hoping he's in the right mental frame of mind because I'd love to see him get another title shot before he retires. And on that note, just quickly, I also do hope he retires at the end of these 3 fights. He's done everything he needs. If he can get back to the top, win the title, lose in your last fight for the title, whatever it is, I'd like to see him retire at the end of the 3 fights.
Fair
The
enough.
question is, will the UFC even give him a title shot against Holloway?
Well, it depends if Holloway's even the champion. We don't even know what's going on with Holloway,
If Holloway loses to, what's his name again?
Brian Ortega.
I got Aldo over Ortega.
I think Aldo struggles with the same thing against Ortega. Why he struggled against Holloway with that range. But, I mean, even if he goes out in the last fight in the title shot, why not?
All right, Chris, what do you think?
Okay, well, I love Jose Aldo, or Jose Aldo, and I love Jeremy Stephens, but Jose Aldo, he's obviously his biggest challenges have been the long rangey guys, but he also struggled against Mendes in their second fight. They had a crazy fight together. That's because Mendes has a lot of power. So every time he hit Jose cleanly, well, he really reacted to it in terms of like, I think he knocked him down and dazed him a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy Stevens, if you want to compare knockout power between Jeremy Stevens and Chad Mendes, I think Jeremy Stevens, I think he wins that conversation. Plus, Jeremy Stevens is a much bigger featherweight than someone like Chad Mendes. So I really want. I actually don't. For me personally, this is the hardest fight on the card, like out of these three for me to pick, because Jeremy Stevens can finish anyone. He's got great leg kicks now. He's evolved as a fighter. He now goes for takedowns, leg kicks. He's not just a big overhand right type of fighter like a Perry. He's evolved, and he's evolved big time. So sure, Jose's got those big leg kicks, but so does Jeremy. So it could be a battle of the leg kicks at some point during the fight. But I don't know. I just got Jeremy here. I feel like he's beat some really tough guys in Josh Emmett, Duho Choi, and Gil Melendez, who he chopped the hell down with powerful leg kicks. So I just don't. And he had a split decision against Renato Moicano. And that Renato Moicano, he's a legit top tier featherweight at this point. If you've seen any of his fights, he's legit as hell. And he almost knocked out Frank Edgar in the fight previous. And then previous to that, even though it was a beaten down Barao at that point, he still beat Barao with relative ease. So he's just on a really good run at the moment, where he's just got a crazy amount of confidence, and I just don't see him losing. I feel like Jose Aldo, he's been hit too many times. His chin's way too compromised at this point. I don't see him winning. So my pick is Jeremy Stevens. You guys got anything else to say about it?
I get where you're coming from. You're right. If Stevens hits Aldo, Aldo's going 9-0. Here's the thing. Chad Mendes and Jeremy Stevens present very, very different fighting styles. Their threats are different. Chad Mendes is looking to grab the takedown. Jeremy Stevens isn't.
Jeremy Stevens is not going to instill that doubt in Jose Aldo's mind as to what he wants.
Yes.
In the same way that Colby Covington outstruck Rafael dos Anjos, Covington would never outstrike dos Anjos if just purely in a striking match. But because the threat of the takedown there, Covington was able to land so many strikes. And I think that's where you're getting at that, and I agree 100%.
Yes, because here's the thing, and Peter can say whether I'm right or wrong. I've sparred with Ryan, and all I know, Ryan is very wrestling heavy, very jiu-jitsu heavy. All he's looking for is to set up to get the takedown. And he's actually tagged me because I put my hands a bit lower and look, because I'm going, oh shit, he's always going for the takedown. Whereas if I'm going against someone who's primarily a striker, like in kickboxing, I feel much freer to throw my hands, to throw kicks and move around. And there's a big difference. So, yeah. So, Jeremy Stevens and Chad Mendes, not a very good comparison.
Yeah, in my comparisons, I was only comparing the power. I wasn't comparing their overall fighting styles. So that wasn't my comparison whatsoever. I was just saying in terms of power, like Jeremy Stevens. My only point that I was trying to make out of that, in terms of power, Jeremy Stevens has the greater power. I wasn't trying to say that in fighting styles. I was just trying to give the closest comparison in Aldo's previous fights. And I can't see anyone else in his previous fights that has a closer comparison. Because everyone else that he's fought with great power, they're also wrestlers. So that's the only one I had.
100%.
And I can't compare 100%. McGregor to Stevens. So yeah.
100%. Like a lot of the shots Chad Mendes landed on Aldo, which he ate, Stevens would have put him out.
Yeah. And once again, it's one of those things. Like Stevens still has to land that shot. He's fought plenty of guys where he hasn't landed that shot. So.
And it's a lot harder to land that shot when you're looking for, that shot coming in. Whereas when you're going against a wrestler, it's a lot easier because you can hide it. What Chad likes to do is he fakes the takedown into an uppercut, and he lands on everyone. He does.
Yeah, but Jeremy also, he likes people that want to stand up and strike with him. He excels against people that just stand up and strike with him, and that's someone that's Aldo's not someone to go for takedowns unless he's really tired and he just wants to have a rest. So
yes.
The last time I think I saw him go for a takedown was on Hominick. I could be wrong, but that's the last time I personally recall him going for a takedown. And that's because he gassed out hard in the 4th and 5th round.
All right.
Anyway,
move
so
on to the main event.
Yes, let's move forward. So we got Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier. Oh man, it's gonna be freaking crazy.
I love Eddie.
Should I start this one off, or do you want to start off, Pete?
Go for it.
Go on, Chris.
Go for it.
All right, I'll start this one off. All right, so we got Dan doing backflips over there. Eddie Alvarez, former champ, Dustin Poirier on his way to being champ. I feel like Eddie Alvarez is a bit long in the tooth at this point. Well, not really. Yeah, no, he's long in the tooth. He's a bit shop-worn. He's had some tough wars against Chandler, and then he came and had a tough war against Gaethje. He also had a tough war against Poirier, which, as we all know, ended in a no contest. And plus, I feel like I'm not going to talk on his technique at the moment. I'm just going to mention the fact that he just kind of feels like he's owed so much, whereas someone like Poirier, he feels like he's still got so much to accomplish. He's still working his way up. I'm picking Poirier because Poirier obviously outpointed Eddie Alvarez in the first fight. I feel like he's learnt from that fight. That fight was a big wake-up call for him. After he hurt Alvarez, he kind of went in a bit too quick and then got himself hurt. I think that particular fight really helped him realize, okay, shit, I can really beat these top tier guys. I can beat a former champion if I'm a little bit more careful. And also, Dustin Poirier's grappling is something that no one speaks about. His grappling, you saw him against Pettis. Pettis is another guy with grappling that no one speaks about, despite the fact that his title win and his title defense came via submission. So, and talking about the grappling, Dustin Poirier completely and utterly outgrappled Pettis. Pettis had nothing for him on the ground. He threw up a lot of submissions. Pettis was very defensive and defended very well, but once again, I'm doing comparison. I'm not saying MMA is jiu-jitsu. I'm saying in terms of jiu-jitsu, if you're going off points, the points would have been like 30-2. So Poirier completely outgrappled Pettis. If Eddie Alvarez wants to grapple with Poirier, he's going to struggle really hard because Poirier is not the type of guy that you can just take down and control. No one's done that to him. But Poirier's wrestling also really good. So I just don't see where Eddie's going to win this. If Poirier really wants to play the safe game and take him down, he's probably going to struggle for the takedown, but I think he'll eventually get it because he's very smart with timing his takedowns. He doesn't just shoot for a clinch. He doesn't grab a clinch and then really work for ages like a kebab. He's like a Cerrone. Just he's got that great timing, or GSP, great timing. Just bang, shoots in for those legs, gets him down. No messing around. If he can't get it straight away, he backs out and waits for the next opportunity. So that's if it goes to the ground, that's how I see Poirier getting to the ground. I don't see Eddie Alvarez taking him down. I don't see Eddie Alvarez with his elbows out wide, big like winging punches style, finishing off Poirier. And Poirier's also got very straight punches as well, which Eddie Alvarez doesn't handle too very well. So I'm going Dustin Poirier. I don't know how. I don't know how to pick. I don't know how to pick when or what. So Dustin Poirier, that's my pick. There we go. That's it.
Very good.
All right, Pete.
Dan?
Okay, Dan.
Me?
You go.
All right. Dan, go. You go first.
I agree with Chris. I think if you want to look out.
Wait. Stop. You agree with Chris? Did I hear that right? Pete, did you hear that?
Yes.
I heard it.
That never happens, and I hope he continues with what he says in agreement and doesn't say, I agree, but that I disagree with this. Go ahead, Dan.
I agree with Chris. I think their last fight really showed the pros and cons of Poirier's game. If, throughout the fight, Poirier stayed measured, and he was winning the fight. But as soon as he tagged Alvarez, he went over aggressive, as he usually does, and usually that pays off. But Alvarez, as Chris said, he's very experienced. He's been through a lot of wars. Maybe wear and tear's coming, and getting him, who knows? But he's been through a lot of wars, and he's been stunned, and he's been there. He came back, and Poirier abandoned all technique, chasing that knockout, which then allowed Eddie to stun him back and get him back because his defense just went out of the window. So if Poirier can stay calm throughout this fight, and after he thinks Alvarez just stays calm and goes in for the kill, but more controlled, my brain says Poirier wins this by KO. My heart says Alvarez because I love the guy. I love watching him fight. I think his fights are fantastic against Justin Gaethje, and I think he's a pleasure to watch. But Poirier by knockout. What do you think, Peter?
Oh wow, knockout. It's a good pick.
Pretty much what you guys said. I think I won't go too in depth because I think you guys, especially Chris, you covered it really well. But I think it comes down to Justin Gaethje. It comes down to Dustin Poirier's maturity, I'd say, as a competitor. The last couple of fights, especially the Justin Gaethje one, I thought Justin Gaethje was going to knock him out in that one just because of Dustin Poirier's got the propensity for getting dragged into a brawl, getting sucked into a brawl and getting hurt. The last couple of fights with Pettis and Gaethje, he's been able to sort of keep himself calm when he's got his opponent hurt and got him where he wants them. And he doesn't rush in for the kill like he did last time against Alvarez. And in previous fights, like with Michael Johnson, he showed a maturity to keep going with the game plan that got him that result. He hurts the guy by fighting in a certain way. And now instead of rushing in for the kill and opening himself up to counters, he continues fighting in that way to continue the desired results. Eddie Alvarez needs to turn it into a brawl, I feel, to have any success. Like you're saying, Chris, I don't think he's going to have much success with the takedowns in this fight either. There's something to be said about a guy who's just riding a strong wave of confidence, and I think Dustin Poirier is riding a strong wave of confidence. And like Dan said, I think he stops Eddie Alvarez. I think he stops him in the championship rounds. I think he'll have Eddie hurt during certain times of the fight, but I think he stops him in the championship rounds. Apart from really forcing a brawl and mixing a lot of everything in, Eddie Alvarez pretty much has to fight like Randy Couture, I feel, to get any success in this fight, and I don't think he will. I think he'll succumb to a more accurate, a faster, and a sharper Dustin Poirier in the championship rounds.
You know what I find funny? I think Khabib absolutely starches Poirier, just like Michael Johnson. But I think Alvarez would actually put up a better fight.
And that's something I've said before as well. I think Alvarez puts up a better fight against Khabib than Poirier does, just because of their styles. I would love Poirier to get a title shot. If he wins this fight, definitely he deserves a title shot after Conor and Khabib, who will probably fight next. But I don't like his chances against either of them. I think Conor sparks him out again quite comfortably, and I think Khabib just ragdolls him. But, I mean, he's getting the results, so never say never. I mean, he could beat them. I don't think he will, but if he wins this fight, he definitely deserves his name thrown in the hat for the next title shot.
Yeah, this is true. Funny thing about this card as well. McGregor has beat Alvarez, Poirier, Aldo, and if you want to count the that press conference, he pretty much knocked out Jeremy Stevens as well. So he's beat all the four guys at the top of the card. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Like, Conor McGregor at the moment is like, he's been out for like 2 years, and he's still hovering over all these top contenders in both lightweight and featherweight.
From McGregor.
Sorry?
Well, that's good matchmaking.
They've all taken an L from the champ.
Yep, they all lost to the champ. Not the double champ, because that's
good
DC.
matchmaking. Conor stylistically matches up well against, like, as a counter fighter against all of them.
All right, we'll try not to use up our Conor
good
conversation too much, because we've got another video coming up immediately after this. So anything more?
Khabib. I want to see it.
We do want to see it. Anything more we want to say about this main event? Actually, Pete, I want to hit on what you said as well, because I liked it. The fact that Poirier in his last fight fought to the championship rounds, he didn't rush in against a guy like Gaethje. That was like that type of fight should have been the kryptonite for him, because that's what Poirier was previously getting caught in doing. He just rushing into into moments where he had guys hurt, and then he gets himself hurt because that's another thing about Poirier. He doesn't have a great chin, but he's good at hiding it when he plays safe. But he's not good at hiding it when he tries to finish a fight. But what he did
and
against
he's brought
Gaethje,
that
he was
the
patient.
maturity. Yeah.
He took him to the championship rounds, and now that he's fighting Eddie Alvarez for a second time, but he's got 5 rounds to finish him, he doesn't need to rush in that first round. Which
And that's it. That like even when he stung Gaethje so many times over that fight, but rarely did you see him sort of, he didn't see red and go, I have to finish him now. He just
Finish
kept
him.
fighting the same way, and he knew he'd come eventually, and it did.
Yeah, it was great.
Hmm.
Fantastic.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think that's all we have to say about that. All right, guys. Well,
All right.
I think we've
Wrapping
had
up.
fun.
Thanks for watching.
Uh,
I love you, Pete. I love
also,
you, Chris.
you got to remember, like, share, subscribe, press the little bell button so you get all the notifications. Dan, you're leaning really forward into us. Kind of creepy but sexy at the same time.
Patience, Dan.
I lost my train of thought. Pete, you want to finish that off?
So yeah, guys, please give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other social media, and subscribe on YouTube as well. Please get us out there, share us amongst your friends. We appreciate all your help and support. So keep watching. Thank you.
Dan
And
Park.
we have an active Facebook and YouTube account, Instagram. So if you guys put in a commentary, message us, or just be like, "Hey, you can't, what's up?" We'll just reply back to you.
All good. I love it. Thank you very much. Peace out till next time.
Thank you all.
Ciao.